Hello guys, welcome back to my channel Automation Hub Sathak, and in today's video we'll continue with the Java learning, and today I'll tell you something very important, which is about arrays. And in our learning Java project I have created a package arrays, and I'm gonna make a new class, and I'll just teach you the basic understanding of arrays. So let's go ahead. Okay, so I just created a class. So now the most important bit here, first we need to understand what basically arrays are. So as far as I think I have already done a Hindi video and I have explained everything there, but since my channel is predominantly related to explanation in both the language forms, I'll continue the same with detailed explanation in English as well. So let's go ahead. See, arrays are nothing but they are storehouses. Okay, so arrays are storehouses, or you can call them as containers. So what do they contain? They store multiple values but of the same data types. Okay, they cannot store values of different data types. Of course there is a certain exception, but that exception I'll tell you later. So arrays are storehouses or containers. They store multiple values of the same data types. And now let's go ahead to the coding part of it, and the representation and everything I'll tell you. See, when we used to declare an integer variable, let's say I is equal to 10, but in case we want to use more number of numbers inside it, so for the variable I, which is of an integer form, we just do not want 10, we want 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and like that, and goes on. We cannot we cannot do something like this. It is not allowed in Java. This will throw an error because that is not allowed. So what do? I don't want to declare int j equal to 11, int k equal to 12, int l equal to 13, and m equal to 14 and all. I just want everything in one particular declaration, and that's it. I just want one variable to declare it. So Java said, fine, go ahead, use array. So this is how you declare an array. Either you can write the data type and the square bracket I equals to, you can give here 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5, something like that, and just end it with a termination. But okay, I'm keeping this as a comment, and you can also write the same thing in this fashion. I prefer this fashion. If you remember in my program wherein I had explained about the main method, I told you specifically that this square bracket can be kept after the string class, or it can be kept after these arguments. Similarly, in this fashion, you can keep the square bracket after the variable or after the integer, but I suggest you keep it after the variable. It feels less complicated, and I'll tell you why, and it is more useful in that regard. So I'll just uncomment this because we are not using it. I'm gonna delete this. Okay, see, both these are correct forms, but I suggest you keep in this fashion. Why? Because it is very easy to do the indexing. I'll come to that little later. I prefer in this way, and I suppose you should too. There is one thing which I need to add here. I did mention a statement of the same data types, multiple values of the same data types. See, this is an integer array. Okay, they are of the same data types. Let's say, for example, you want to introduce a double value, like say 10.34. Will it accept? No, it will not. Why? Because double values are not allowed. You can keep this double value inside a double array. You cannot keep this inside an integer array. Similarly, you cannot keep a boolean value either. Why? Because it is not a boolean array, it is an integer array. So this is kind of a limitation, or you can call it, this is how some kind of a rule in arrays, that for a particular data type you cannot change the values of that data type. You will only introduce those values. Okay, now let me also write another string array, str. Okay, and I'll give a certain name, let's say Java, and let's say Selenium. Okay, and let's say WebDriver. Okay, and let's say GitHub. Okay, and let's say Jenkins. Okay, I'll give testng, and I'll give something like reports. No, something related to, okay, Maven. So something like this. Okay, something which is a little meaningful. Okay, now, so if somebody asks you what is the size of this string array, so you will say, okay, how many values are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the size of the value is the size of the array is 7. So now, since it is something of a very finite form, and you can easily look at this thing and you can tell it even without doing any sort of a code, what if there are thousands and thousands of values which are declared? So how do you find it? It's very simple. There is something known as str.length, and that's it. This is how you find it. So it returns a string, but if you actually want to know, you can go ahead and like this, write like this. So the size of the string array is str.length. It's as simple as that. You can take the print of this particular statement, and this is what you'll get the answer. You see, the size of the string array is 7. Okay, now there is one more question which I need to ask you. What would you do if you would one second, let me clear this console. Now, what if I ask you, give me the value of give me the value of that particular element or that particular data which you have written, which is in the 6th position or in the 7th position. So here comes the concept of indexing in array. Okay, indexing in array, and this starts from the 0th position. Okay, that is where it starts from. It doesn't start from 1, it starts from 0. So how do you represent this? So if I ask you, give me the position of that particular value which is in, let's say, the 3rd position. So what we'll do, you will write so str3, that is in the 3rd position. So let's run this program. See GitHub, how it is GitHub. See, Java is in the 1st position, Selenium is in the 2nd position, WebDriver is in the 3rd position. But why is the answer coming GitHub? Because as I said, indexing comes into picture. So technically Java is in the 0th position, Selenium is in the 1st position, WebDriver is in the 2nd position, and this fellow GitHub is in the 3rd position. That is the difference between indexing and something else. Okay, so array starts from the index 0. The first value comes in the 0th position, the second value comes in the 1st position, and this is how you write this thing. Let's say, for example, you'll tell me, you'll ask me what is the value in the last position, which is of course the size of the array is 7. So what should be the size of the last position, which position the value should be in? Of course in 6th. So let's find out. So the answer should be Maven. You can see Maven and 6th position. What if you try to go beyond and actually do not understand the concept and write str of 7? Let's do that and we'll see something. Let's see what warning or error Java throws to us. It will throw something which is array out of bound exception. Why? Because when you put 7, that means the value becomes 8. But here the value is only 7. The size of the array is 7. So the positioning which starts from 0, the indexing which starts from 0 ends at 6. So this thing becomes out of bound exception. Okay. So I just wanted to show you this. I'm commenting this. Okay. Great. Now let's go ahead and do something else. Let's say, for example, I will ask you to, print all the values of this particular string array. I want Java, Selenium, WebDriver, GitHub, Jenkins, TestNG, Maven to be printed in the output console. So what are you going to do? Of course, we're going to use for loop. Okay? For int j equals to 0, j less than str dot length. j plus plus. So what's the array? str. What's the loop iteration? J. Give a little space so that it looks much better, and run this program. As simple as that. See, all these things get printed. Now you want them to be run in a straight line. Fine. Remove ln. Don't give them a new line. See, Java, Selenium, WebDriver, GitHub, Jenkins, TestNG, Maven comes in one line. This is a simple representation of an array. I'm not even teaching one-dimensional array, two-dimensional arrays, object arrays, nothing of those sort. This is just something of a basic definition. I wanted you people to have a look. This is how you're gonna write something about arrays. Of course, I will in the next video I'll teach you about how do you represent one-dimensional arrays, and in the next video after that I'll teach you about two-dimensional arrays, and also in the next video after that I'll teach you about the object arrays. Each and everything I'll tell you, but I just wanted you to know how you should actually, what are the most important things you need to understand about an array. You can go ahead and find what would be the sum of all the numbers inside an array, and how do you print an array from the end to the beginning, from the last value to the first value. All those things you can do. You just have to manipulate the for loop. So this is very simple. This is very interesting. Arrays are widely used. Okay, so please practice this, and do let me know if you have any doubts. And please do not forget to subscribe to my channel. I definitely would need a lot of support from you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Sarthak here signing off, and please wait for my next video.